You know, it's funny that Barbie is considered a controversial toy and that it's not good for little girls because she has an idealized, almost impossible to achieve body. And meanwhile, us guys had G.I. Joe and He-Man. Pretty sure it's harder to have basically 0% body fat and well over 200 pounds of pure muscle. So Masters of the Universe centers around the realm of Eternia, where they are ruled by the benevolent King Randor and his wife, Queen Marlena Glenn, who actually was an ex-astronaut from the planet Earth. When the evil Skeletor and his army usurp the king and queen, Marlena has the mysterious sorceress create a pathway back to Earth so the prince, Adam, can be safe. 15 years later, Adam is still on Earth, tired of his mundane life and hoping to be reunited with his sword of power in order to free Eternia from the grip of Skeletor. Howdy, I'm the guy with no name. Thanks for stopping by the channel. If you're new here, I love to talk about movies, TV shows, and video games, and I'm actually getting really close to my goal of 400 subscribers. So if you enjoy this video and want to see more reviews, rankings, discussions, etc., then please show your support by liking and subscribing. Masters of the Universe was directed by Travis Knight and distributed by Amazon MGM Studios. I was wondering why there was a random Amazon Prime truck that popped up in the film. It stars Nicholas Galitzine as Prince Adam Glenn, aka He-Man, Kamala Mendes as Teela, the adopted daughter of Eternia's Captain of the Guard, and thus one of Adam's childhood friends, Jared Leto as the titular villain himself, Skeletor, Idris Elba as the Captain of the Guard and father of Teela, Duncan, aka Man-at-Arms, and Alison Brie as Skeletor's second-in-command, the sinister sorceress known as Evil Lyn. I never saw the He-Man movie with Dolph Lundgren, but apparently it wasn't that good to most people, and when they decided they weren't going to make a sequel, they actually announced they were going to reboot the Masters of the Universe in, I think it was 2009, and since then, this movie's been in production hell, and it's gone through multiple iterations. Apparently, though, some of the earlier versions were going to be like a mix between The Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, which intrigues me for sure. And unfortunately, at least in my opinion, in a post-MCU, Avengers, post-Thor world, there was really no way that they were going to make this movie without it drawing inspiration from the Thor movies. And really, this movie, in my opinion, really takes all the Thor movies and combines them into kind of one as far as the tone goes. There's some serious moments. There's definitely the fish out of water scenes with him on Earth, much like the scenes with Thor in Thor 1, and then Ragnarok is probably where they took the most inspiration from, though there are elements of Love and Thunder, unfortunately. But yeah, I guess that's a question for you guys, you He-Man fans in the comments section. Is He-Man a comedy? Because from what I understand, there are definitely moments where they're purposefully kind of cheesy and there are jokes here and there, but I was never under the impression that He-Man, it was basically like an action comedy, which is basically what this movie was. It just felt like it was way too much, and I could see that being, it was off-putting for me thinking one way of He-Man and getting this iteration. I'm kind of curious if you guys feel the same way. And also, like I said, a ton of the humor undercuts He-Man as a character. He has some cool moments for sure, but even by the end of it, he's still kind of a dork and he's still kind of a klutz and super awkward, and I don't know if a bunch of people, even by the end of it, respect him all that much. So I kind of felt like, you know, maybe in the next one he'll be better if they're going to make a sequel, if they're able to. But also, do any of the stories, any of the source material, does he go to Earth ever? Because, and is it like a fish out of water experience? Because I'm not aware of any. I mean, I'm sure there maybe is something, but I don't know, felt like they were taking inspiration from Thor 1 and were like, oh, that was great, let's do that. And I mean, I don't know, I could have done without the whole Earth thing, honestly. It didn't really add much to the story at all. It just kind of felt like it padded the run time, and it provided a reason for him to have been gone for 15 years. I think that's the main reason why he went to Earth. And like I said, maybe that's exactly what happens in the source material. I don't know. But to me, it just felt like they were like, oh, we got to make He-Man go to Earth and be relatable and work in a cubicle and not be happy with his life because it's very boring and monotonous. But speaking of He-Man, I thought the way he was handled as a character wasn't the the best. Like I said, most of the movie he is very incompetent, naive, idealistic, clumsy, overall not very respected by anybody, almost made fun of most of the time. So, you know, I didn't really like that. That's not the He-Man that I have been under the impression anyway of how he is. And Teela, great character. I actually liked her a lot. She was a little too perfect sometimes. And also, there's a lot of times where it almost feels like He-Man is incompetent in order to contrast with how competent Teela is, and that just happens a bit too much. Although there is a little bit of that balanced out with times where Teela maybe doesn't believe He-Man or thinks that you know, disagrees with him on something, and then it turns out he's right. At the end of the day, comparing He-Man to the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, not too much change, honestly. Like, he does improve a lot, but a lot of people just like kind of laugh at him and roll their eyes at him, which is kind of weird. And then Skeletor, I thought Jared Leto as Skeletor did a great job, and I love the design of him. I love how he's pretty darn close to how the animation is. He's pretty menacing. Once again, though, a bit too much humor that sometimes undercuts how menacing he is. I also thought Nicholas Galitzine as He-Man and Kamala Mendes as Teela, I thought they did a great job. They had good chemistry. You know, Nicholas played the character he was supposed to play, the character that was in the script. So he had a lot of humorous lines to deliver. A lot of them didn't land, but for me anyways, that wasn't due to his delivery. It was just due to the joke itself. So I don't blame him for that at all. And then I really have nothing negative to say about Kamala Mendes. I thought she was a great casting decision. Oh, and I gotta give a shout out to the musical score. I actually thought that was the best part of the whole movie. It was really well done, and yeah, definitely a big standout for me. Overall though, if I had to say my thoughts of He-Man were really just the plot was not that great. It was pretty darn predictable, and like I said, just way too much humor. I didn't really appreciate the characterization of He-Man. Skeletor was great though. Teela was pretty good. The acting was fine, and I didn't go in with high expectations, but I did leave the movie a bit disappointed. All that being said, I can't quite give Masters of the Universe a good rating, and instead I would say I wouldn't see it, at least in the theaters, unless you had an extra fistful of dollars. So let me know in the comments if you've had a chance to see Masters of the Universe yet, and if so, do you agree or disagree with my thoughts in any way? Or if you haven't seen the movie yet, do you plan on seeing it? And more importantly, are you a He-Man fan or not so much like me? Also, if you enjoyed this video, check out my review that I recently did on The Mandalorian and Grogu, and be on the lookout for future reviews. This is the guy with no name, signing off.